All right, let's talk options. If you want to get into this world, there are really only two words you have to understand first, and that's calls and puts. Seriously, they are the absolute foundation of everything. So let's break them down. So let me ask you something. You ever have that feeling, that gut instinct, that a stock is about to make a big move? I mean, a really big move. How do you actually act on that? How do you bet on it going up or down without risking your entire shirt? You'd want to know, right, from the get-go, exactly what your maximum loss could be. Well, that's the exact problem that options were designed to solve.
Okay, so what even is an option? When you boil it all down, it's just a contract. But it's a special kind of contract. It gives you the right to do something, but, and this is the key part, not the obligation. The best way to think about it is like putting a deposit down on a house. You've paid for the right to buy that house at a specific price, but you don't have to buy it. If the deal goes south, you can just walk away. And the only thing you lose is that deposit you put down. Options, they work pretty much the exact same way.
So let's get into our first building block. This one's called a call option. Think of this as your go-to tool when you're betting that a stock's price is headed up. A call option, plain and simple, gives you the right, again, not the obligation, to buy an asset like a stock at a price you agree on today. This price is called the strike price, and you have until a certain date, the expiration date, to do it. You're basically locking in a potential purchase price right now.
So why would you want to do that? Why lock in a price to buy something? Well, because you're bullish. You think the stock's actual market price is going to shoot way above that price you locked in. You're betting on the upside.
And here's where the magic really happens, the whole risk versus reward thing. If you're right and that stock just takes off, your option could become incredibly profitable. But what if you're wrong? What if the stock tanks instead? Well, your loss is capped. It is absolutely limited to whatever you paid for that option in the first place, which we call the premium. That's it. Your downside is completely defined before you even get in.
So, to put a bow on it, for a call option, just remember these three things. You think the price is going to rise. The contract gives you the right to buy, and your risk, it's limited to what you paid. Simple as that. Now, let's flip that on its head.
All right, on to building block number 2, the put option. If a call is for betting on a stock going up, you can probably guess what a put is for. This is your tool when you think a price is about to fall. A put option is basically the mirror image of a call. It gives you the right, but not the obligation, to sell an asset at a locked-in price before a specific date. This time, the key phrase isn't right to buy, it's right to sell. You're locking in your potential selling price. And why on earth would you want the right to sell something at a certain price? Because you're bearish. You believe the stock's market price is going to drop below that price you locked in. You're either betting on a decline or, maybe you're trying to protect a stock you already own from a big drop. The whole system here works just like a call, just in reverse. If your gut was right and the stock price totally collapses, your right to sell at that higher locked-in price suddenly becomes super valuable. And if you're wrong and the stock goes up instead, well, just like with a call, your loss is still limited to that premium you paid for the put option. Your risk is defined from the moment you make the trade. So let's sum up put options real quick. Your outlook? Bearish. The contract gives you the right to sell. And your risk? You guessed it. It's limited to the premium you paid. It is the direct opposite of a call. Okay, so we've met our two main characters, right? The call and the put. Now it's time for the main event. Let's put them side by side, head to head, to really nail down the differences. Okay, let's break this down line by line. Your outlook. With a call, you're bullish. You want the price to go up. With a put, you're bearish. You want the price to go down. Easy enough? You're right. A call gives you the right to buy. A put gives you the right to sell. Now, this next one is interesting. Profit potential. With a call, it's technically unlimited, right? A stock can just keep going up and up. For a put, your profit is huge, but it's capped because a stock can only fall to zero. But look at that last line because it's the most important one. For both, your risk is limited. It's always fixed to that premium you paid. That right there is the real power of options. So after all that, what's the big takeaway here? What's the one thing you absolutely need to remember? Look, it really all just boils down to this. Calls and puts are two sides of the exact same coin. Calls are how you bet on a price rise, but with a built-in safety net. Puts are how you bet on a price fall, also with a safety net. If you can master that one distinction, you've mastered the foundation. Because trust me, every single complex, crazy-sounding options strategy out there is just a new way of combining these two fundamental building blocks. You see, getting a handle on calls and puts isn't just about memorizing definitions. It's about getting a whole new set of tools for your toolbox. Tools that let you act on how you see the market, but with precision and, most importantly, with risk that you can clearly define. So, you've got the building blocks now. The only real question left is, what are you going to build with them?